We're about to change all the oil in 3 engines today. We're going to do generator and both main engines on my Riviera 40, 2005 Riviera 40. I got all my stuff over here. 40 liters of oil is 164 Singapore dollars, tax exempt because it's a foreign vessel. And then the filters were $46 each for the main engines and $9.50 for the gen set, so about $110 for the filters. So my total parts is about $274. I will show you a labor receipt for when you pay somebody to do this versus doing it yourself, and I'm going to walk you through the process. But first we're going to start up the main engines, and I already got the gen set running. We're going to warm up the oil before we suck it out. So now we're up on the flybridge. We're going to start up the main engines and warm them up a bit. So we're going to let those run. And we'll come back and we'll go through the oil change process. As you can see here, I have my waste oil tanks. This is where the old oil will go. This is the new oil. And I have an electric pump that will suck the oil out, so it shouldn't take that long. Okay, I think we're ready to begin. So it's exactly 3 o'clock. So we'll see how long this takes. It shouldn't take longer than a couple hours to do all 3 engines. Okay, so this is my oil pump here, and then the selector for starboard, port, and gen set. So we're going to start with the starboard engine. So I'm going to move this over to starboard, and then I'm gonna go pull the filler cap off of the top of the engine. So the oil has it's vented so the oil can come out, and I'll also pull the dipstick a little bit, and then basically we're gonna pump this oil right out into this bucket where this hose is. So yeah, so here we go. So I'm going to put it to the out position, starboard engine out. Okay, we just finished sucking out the oil of the starboard engine. It took 7 minutes. So we're going to switch over the hoses. Now that we've almost filled this one, take that hose and put it in there. And now we're going to switch to the port engine. Like that. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to remove the filler cap. So there's a vent, and then we'll also pull the dipstick, so there's plenty of vent for that. All the oil is out. These two are full, plus the gen set in there. So we're plugging away. 3:30, only a half an hour in, taking my time. Fresh oil will go. I'm going to change the filters first. Okay, so we're going to take this filter off. I just use a normal leather belt, and I wrap it around and unscrew it. So I'm not sure if you'll be able to see this or not. So we're going to turn it counterclockwise to get it off. So belt around like this. Try to get a good squeeze on it, and then just lightly twist. Okay, starting to come already. And that's coming off. There's going to be oil spillage, so I have some rags handy. And the filter is pretty hot and it's going to be full of oil, so I'll just try not to get oil all over me. Now this is full of black oil, so we're going to go dump that, so I'll be right back. So now we have the new filter, and we're gonna top up the oil on the new filter, and we're gonna do it this way with a pump because it's too dangerous to try to pour it in. So we use this pump, and we're just gonna fill her up. So that's topped up. Then we're going to just take your finger and just go along the seal with the fresh oil. Make a nice seal when you screw it on. Okay, here we are in the engine room. As you can see, I've changed a couple of times because it's like crazy hot working in the tropics on this kind of stuff. But anyway, it's 6 o'clock. I took a dinner break, so I've been really taking my time doing this. I could have definitely completed the whole thing within a couple hours, but we started at 2:30 and now it's 6, and I left for an hour in the middle to have some dinner. So here we are. The new filters are on. I put the date and the amount of hours on both oil filters. And I started, after I topped up the oil, you start the engines and let the oil work its way in, and then you have to top up just a little bit. So I did that. I spilled very little oil, so as you can see, the engine room is very clean still and very dry. Bone dry, baby. You keep the engine room clean and dry, and if you have a problem, you can see it right away and where it's coming from. You have water in the engine room, then you have steam, then you have rust and condensation. But rust is not what we want, corrosion, so a dry engine room is the way to do it. My next project, which I will also document, is to take off the aftercoolers here. I need to replace the zinc anodes, top and bottom, but I'm going to take them completely off the engines, both of them, and have them pressure tested. And also the gearbox oil cooler here, and then the main heat exchanger, which is here, and it's on the other side of the other engine. These all have to be taken off and pressure tested. So if you get it, especially the aftercooler, if you have a breach in ingress in this, then you have salt water going into the engine cylinders, and that's a really bad thing. So we're going to try to prevent that and take these off next week, take them out for service, pressure test, reinstall. The air filters will come off tomorrow, and I will soak those in soapy water and then let them dry. And I'll go over all my hoses And my belts, I have a belt that's starting to shed a little bit, so I'm gonna have a look at that tomorrow. But overall, this is just basic general maintenance. Both engines have fresh oil in them. I'm very happy about that. We're ready to do some long distance once we get the rest of the stuff done. So yesterday we did the oil change and I showed you the receipts for the parts. The total parts cost about $270 Singapore. So maybe 220 US. And I have a receipt here for the last time the oil change was done. So let's have a look. The labor was $1,600. And they charged more than double the amount that I paid for the parts. So if you want to do an oil change with the Cummins dealer, the engine certified engine service people, you can pay $2,175, or you can pay $275. Up to you. So that's it. See you on the next one.